I found the XU process really interesting. I thought it was fun. I thought the best part was collaborating with the students from other schools to kind of get different perspectives. Like our school's only like one part of the picture. In like Rhode Island, you get to see like experiences and just views of other students around the state and different communities. Personally, I want to pursue a career in education, and I thought like this experience really helped me with that.
One of the first things we did was get a large group of students together last, I believe it was May, about 7 or 8 months ago, and got them together, listened to their ideas, and then from those ideas we went through with the faculty and with a kind of small design group. We went through a rapid process of essentially listening to people, coming up with ideas, what could help to solve the problems that we have and further our school, and then we would run those ideas by groups of people and then get some more feedback and alter the ideas, etc. And doing this in a kind of repetitive, iterative cycle with faculty members, community members, and a kind of core design team along the way, but bringing students into the process repetitively throughout.
With the XQ meetings, it shows that they really want student input. They really want to hear from everybody, and it's not just the students either. There's teachers, there's everyone there. It's just a good environment where you know that when you give information, it's not just going to be put to the side, it's not just going to be stuck up on a wall and forgotten. It's there, and it's a change that can be made.
As we went through this process, they were very much not only willing but eager to share with us who they are, who they want to be, and how they need us to help them.
One of the biggest takeaways was just the initial process of thinking 10 times more, thinking, well, what is an original idea? What do we want schools to look like? And how can we make something really big? And then how do you take something that's really big and make it applicable to a real school?
I think sometimes talking to students, it brings you back into the reality of sometimes you design something with, you can think of all the aspects of it possible, and they will come up with some angle that will change the entire way that you thought about it. And so grounding it in 14 to 18-year-olds has been incredibly important, because I think we can spend a lot of time thinking about what makes sense to us, but if we don't ground it in their reality, it's just not going to turn into a reality here for our school.
In the process, I liked how they changed our thinking process instead of just like what we're doing with the school. So they kind of taught us how to think with more of an inclusive mindset, which I thought our school actually does a really good job already, but it helped us even expand on that idea.
Having students also engage in that process was really interesting, because it gave us the ability to hear their specific voice and to see how things that students want are really a lot of things that teachers want, and the same things that administrators want, and how we can really bring all of these things in to create a personalized, unique environment that will really support best practice and learning.
I think one question we got to keep asking ourselves is what's going to keep the students engaged? Like, what's going to make them excited to come to school every day?
We really came up with 5 main ideas. One, we wanted to have personalized pathways for all children. Second, we wanted to have real-world connections. The third, we wanted to have programs where you start strong, stay strong, and finish strong. We built in a personalization period into our system so we could properly support the kids along the way. And then lastly, the 5th component was Ponaganset's personalized portfolio, where we're going to really capture their experiences over all 4 years.
You can think of them as a journey. The first of them is as students enter our school as 9th graders, and even before they enter as an 8th grader, what are we doing to support those students? Some of our data suggested that students that come in and don't particularly transition well and aren't supported early struggle for their entire 4 years. So that's the kind of start strong aspect of the program.
Well, they started strong, so after we made sure they hit the ground running, we wanted to make sure that their voice and choice was embedded throughout our entire system. So this notion of personalized pathways, it's something that was strong in our school. We looked at it as phase 1, and we really wanted to go to scale with that and give kids that real opportunity to self-select both the types of classes they take, but also where that learning occurs. And that real mode and pace of learning, we're really giving kids the chance to make those decisions for themselves, with the ultimate goal through that 4 years is that they've got a target that has a purpose where they can end up with college credit or industry certifications.
As we listened to our seniors and we were asking them, so what are you worried about? What do you feel good about? The major theme was, am I ready for the real world? Have I had enough chance to interact with the real world to be ready for the real world? So that kind of real world connection is the third major piece in the journey that they're all going to go on as part of the new redesign for the high school.
Those real world connections were important to us, and we knew that we couldn't really accomplish that. It's not enough to just fix one thing in a high school and all of a sudden it'll be amazing. So we looked at all the different ways we had to adjust what we do in our high school to make this work. One way was to adjust our schedule. We used to have 7 class periods, and we built it so that there's opportunities for 4 periods on one day and 4 periods on another. That gave us the opportunity to have a personalization block of 86 minutes, all 4 years of a kid's experience. So if a kid is struggling, they need some additional support, they can go to a teacher and get some reteaching. If they have a passion, they can go to an interest group. I'm passionate about robotics, I'm passionate about climate change, and I could have a cohort of students who think the same way and really spend time exploring those. So that type of system was essential for us kids to really support kids over their 4 years. And lastly, it gave another opportunity for real-world connections. Because we could block the days like that, kids can spend an entire day with us, like on a Monday, and then spend an entire day on an internship on a workplace setting on a Tuesday.
This pathway has helped me more than anything in any school ever could, getting me ready for the real world. There's plenty of internships that we've gone on, but now with the new block scheduling, it's been opened up to all day if you're academically available for it.
And the fifth component supporting this entire system is a digital portfolio that is highly personalized for students, which has multiple different elements of it. But essentially a student is able to, as they define their own pathway journey, as they think about themselves as a 9th grader, heading towards a goal of being a 12th grader and a graduate, collecting things along the way, certifications and course credits, etc. We need a system that ties it together so that the student can look upon their own journey backwards, reflect upon it, and also plan going forwards.
I think the kids felt that they could really speak to the adults in the building. I think that it's exciting for them to think that some of their ideas could be present here and that their voice and their learning was actually being heard. It gave them a bit of ownership and it allowed them to dream a little bit about what schools could look like, what their experience could look like, how we could change things for the better.
The other thing I enjoyed about this is that I got to read other students' feedback and have those challenge my own thinking and see other students that their point of view that I clearly wouldn't have thought of.
We are an institution for students, and XQ design process has, I keep saying forced us, but I think in a very good way, allowed us an opportunity to not forget that we are here for our kids. And when we invite them to the table, and we hear what they have to say, then the power is in that process for us to move forward. That's me, my heart.